So my basic understanding, just layman's terms, for what energetically is going on is there is a huge call to transform, a huge awakening of there is a lot that's being shaken up for you, and it's for the best. And not only is it for just the best, but yeah, it can be hard dealing with an Aries, what is it, an Aries North Node,
North Node, yes.
and a Libra South Node. That's the divine masculine and feminine right there, if you think about it.
Yes.
And for those who don't know, Mars can represent the Greek god Aries and Venus. In one incarnation of her represents the Greek goddess Aphrodite. So you have the divine masculine, you have the divine feminine. So yes, this is a huge call to not only your relationships with other people, your work, your career, but also your relationship with yourself and the relationship that you have to the attachments, ideas, and belief systems that may just well be keeping you out of misalignment with what it is that you want on your path.
Exactly.
Girl.
Yeah. And that's why over the next 18 months, we're going to see a lot of situations in our lives, whether within our inner selves or with other people, situations that are going to have us face to face with our wounds, with the ways in which we are disempowering ourselves, with the ways in which we are abandoning ourselves, with the patterns, the emotions, the attitudes, the beliefs, the actions that continuously disempower ourselves, the ways in which we sacrifice and abandon ourselves, in which we keep ourselves small and hurt and traumatized and in pain and disconnected from ourselves. This shift of the lunar node, so the north node moving into Aries, the south node moving into Libra. Aries is all about the self, that expression of authority, of identity, of clarity, of confidence, of knowing that is very pure. And that's why Aries is not only the first sign of the zodiac, but it is also the first, but it also represents the first element being fire. And the purity of it just is the self. And that's what a lot of us, that's what every single one of us as a collective is going to go through. A desire to be our fire, our authentic selves.
Mm-hmm.
And some are going to either express it and go with it and
Yeah.
open themselves to growth, or they're going to suppress and deepen themselves into their shadows more and more and more.
Oh, it is not the time to do that. It is not the time not to do the work, because Pluto, as we've had one of our sisters, our deepest companions, one of our closest friends has already said through her own experience with Pluto retrograde, Pluto will smack and smack and smack and smack and smack. Pluto will slap you silly, like you want to be yourself, but you don't want to embrace it. You want to be the victim. You want to cry. You want to moan about it. And it's just like, oh, when she said that, she hit me so deep in my chest. And I was just like, oh, Lord, wait. I'm not trying to be the victim, but I feel bad. Okay, but how long are you going to feel bad for? How long are you going to feel bad about yourself? Or are you going to realize who you are and the power that you have to create the life that it is that you desire? Not mama, not daddy, not grandma, not grandpa, not your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your partner, however you want to give somebody a title in your life. What are you going to do to make your dreams come true? And maybe even deeper than that, before even doing that, maybe you need to come to a realization: are your dreams really your dreams, or are your dreams your traumas?
That, exactly that. I can see how the reason why we procrastinate, we have a hard time doing the things that we know are healthy and good and could have very good results is because they are not reflective of the dreams, the desires that our soul desires.
Yeah.
So we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's just that some
Mm-hmm.
are more apt at suppressing themselves and forcing themselves into doing.
Right, right,
Some
right.
aren't. But anyways, it's a disconnect. When you don't want to do something, and that doesn't mean that you have to do everything with a smile on your face, but
Yeah.
there are things that even when we know they're good and necessary, we just don't do. And that's a reflection of you living in a way in which you, the soul, the entity, the consciousness that you are, you do not want to live that way. But you're so attached to an identity. And these lunar nodes, that north node in Aries is here to say your identity is this. Not so much your identity is this. This is who you are as an expression of consciousness. This is who I am as an expression of consciousness. And this is how the identities I have formed around me clash. So the war is between who you truly are and who you have taught yourself to be. And that's going to be the difference between those that are going to be able to go through these energies in the next 18 months.
Yeah.
In a very soothing, empowering way, and those that have a battle ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're either going to suppress themselves more, or they're going to absolutely demolish that disconnect, heal those fractures, and be able to move on and embody who they are. It's exciting times because I'm sorry, we have Pluto on top of it. This is why, whether you believe in astrology or not, just look at the patterns that astrology shows you and see if you don't find them in your life, because I bet you will. And that's powerful because that's knowledge, that's information, that's understanding. That then you know how to work into your own life experience, into your consciousness, into your own brilliance. So then we have Pluto, as I was saying. We have Pluto in Capricorn, retrograde, right now. And again, it's not like we can define or firmly, it's not like we can define how these energies exactly express themselves. Like, from the 20th of July, we feel this. Yes, these are good points, but we feel these energies before these peak points, let's call them. They're peak points of the energy, but we have been feeling it. Like things have been coming together. We have been having moments, emotions, experiences that are facing us with the structures that we have held onto that are damaging to us. Capricorn is all about structures. It's all about tradition. What's customary? What's right? Power. Oof. And Pluto is about power also. But most importantly, about death and transformation for power to grow in wealth. Because that's the power of transformations is in that death and rebirth. What doesn't serve no more transforms into the door for what is next. Because the moment something doesn't serve us, it starts trying to transform us into the next step. But we fight it and get attached to it. And right now, Pluto is looking at us and saying, well, this is what doesn't work. Yeah, I see Pluto often, especially in meditations, is this person walking into a room, and the room being us, society, our collective consciousness, and Pluto just walking into our consciousness, looking at it and being like, are these really your gods? Because ain't no way. And just ripping everything apart so we see it, whether we like it or not.
exciting. Exciting, yes, but I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired and I'm tired. And I'm going to tell y'all why I'm tired. Because this, and excuse my language, but this shit right here, bitch, this shit right here, I'm tired, y'all. You know, when you think because I've been doing a lot of ancestral healing when it comes to my relationships, to how I see myself in my relationship with my 9 to 5 currently, and my career, and my practice, and my relationship, my attachments to physical, material items. I am a Taurus rising, honey. So I love, when things look nice, and I like to have nice things and stuff like that. But there's also a wound attached to that belief system of having nice things. Why do I have nice things? Because I have physically exhausted myself trying to make ends meet in order to have what I think or perceive as abundance based on how I was taught, or the things not even like just limited to what you were taught, but also the things that you just saw, you observed, and the conclusions that you came for yourself based on your own conscious awareness at that time. And this is why it's so sensitive and imperative that children be able to be as free as possible and be able to have the freedom that they can in order to explore, to experience, to share. It's because we as the adults get in their way of having the purest expression of awareness, because we've already been beaten down so much with, you can't have this, you can't be this, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like, again, it's just like you have all of these things that you're healing, and Pluto says it's not enough. It goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than just the surface level of traumas that you were just scratching. It goes deeper into the transformation of who you are at your very core, and questions, why have you not expressed yourself and who you are? Because we all are expressions of consciousness. How we express it is unique to each and every one of us. So it's like, baby, I'm trying. Like, Pluto, I'm fucking trying. I'm fucking trying. I've only been doing this for 2 fucking days, but really it's been 4 days that I've been experiencing this, and I don't even think that they've even crossed yet. I don't, the nodes, have they reached like their next, have they changed? Have we shifted yet, or do we?
Or in that final transition.
Okay, so again, just piggybacking off of what you said earlier about how, there's no set date and time, as most, or not even just most, but some of the astrologers that we've listened to together and separately, is that, oh, by July 29th, we'll be feeling the full shift. No, baby, I've been feeling this for the past 4 days, and we're still in the previous nodes placements. I've had experiences to where the physical material things that I've had have literally been taken away, have been damaged, and then returned back to me. And I'm sitting here sobbing. The imbalances in my relationship, in my own personal relationships, in my romantic relationships, in my parental relationships, in my corporate life, for the moment. And I say just for the moment, because I'm realizing where the transformation is and why it's so necessary at this time, is because I am asking spirit, hey, I want to advance, and I want to be at peace in my practice, and be able to give back to people, and be able to feel abundant and peaceful, and let that, be my environment and surrounding. I asked spirit for this, and then Pluto says, hey, look what we got here. Oh, it looks kind of nice in here. Fuck this. We're going to break this, isn't it? Get the TV, get the car, get the relationship. Like, Pluto is just like, I need you to see where your attachments for your dreams come from. Because if you want this, if you truly, truly want this, then you cannot be this present incarnation of yourself. Your present incarnation cannot handle what it is that you want to express. So bring attention to the attachments, bring attention to the negative patterns and cycles that you are repeating from generational trauma, from generational wounds that have been passed down through each generation. Crazy, crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy when you truly look at it as not just trying to control life, and for example, using systems like astrology to try to control life, to try to control what happens, but instead using it as a tool for you to understand your consciousness, understand the energy around you, the patterns around you, and how can you best continue growing, evolving, and as such, expanding the capacity to, at the end of the day, remember one thing, and it's you are the creator. It's you. It's us. We truly are the creators of our life. And the moment that we understand our wounds, the moment that we understand the distortions that have been created because of our wounds, so the fractures within us, within our soul, our essence, our being.
Yes. Oh my God. And it literally it just hit me. Like, yes, like fractured, fractured. That's the perfect word to use to express at this moment, because it's like, again, you have cycles that you continuously are repeating over and over and over again. Look at just like your own relationships, maybe with your partners. Let's just say you have a partner, and over a course of time, you and your partner, or you at least, when you start to do the astrology, you start to notice that during certain retrogrades, it hits y'all's relationship. You don't understand why there's an imbalance. You don't understand why the energy is shifting for your relationship. It's because you keep practicing belief systems from a very fractured point of view and perspective.
Yep.
Oof. It's got goosebumps because now I understand. I mean, like, listen, y'all, I have been processing a lot, because not only do we have the Pluto retrograde, or Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, not only do we have the North and South nodes shifting to Aries and Libra, but a lot of us are also going through our Saturn return. And that's where I say I'm really tired. But when you do the work, even though it's hard, when you do the work, there are so many rewards that come out of that. And the rewards don't have to be physical manifestations of a new house, a new car, some money, this and that. If you're still expecting just those rewards to come out of your Saturn return and a Pluto retrograde and Capricorn with the North Node shifting to Aries and Libra, you still have the attachments of lack, of self-doubt, of worry, of stress, of a fractured mindset if you still come out that way. Because you should want more and understand that you are the creator, creatrix of your life. All of that is around you already. But if you come from a mindset of lack, if you come from a mindset that is not consistent, if you come from a mindset of get rich quick scheme, you are in a rude awakening alone just with Pluto retrograde. But if you're in your Saturn retrograde too, and you're still on the same bullshit with the same person that you're in the same down spiraling relationship with, you can't be yourself. You don't feel aligned with your path because you're so disconnected from yourself. You're so disconnected from your consciousness. You're so disconnected from source. It's just like, my gosh. It's exhausting, yes, but there's so much prosperity and abundance and happiness and peace that you feel. See, that's the most important part for me, is as long as I feel, and as long as I give myself space to feel every emotion, to let it pass, don't sit in it, but just to allow for it to pass, so that way you understand where it comes from, and then you can integrate with that shadow. You can integrate with that new belief system that you're now going to practice. That's the most important thing, is like source, the universe, the planets, the essence is not asking for us to be healed. It's just asking for us, can you start doing something different? And just practicing that. Practice mindfulness. Practice saying no to people who you know are not deserving of you or your energy. Start laying down the boundaries and foundations that are aligned with you. And I've learned that so far. I've reached a huge lesson of I am very dissatisfied with a lot of the relationships that I've cultivated with folks in my life and that I've had for years. And I'm teaching myself and I'm raising myself very gently and giving myself grace for not always being perfect. And that's my Chiron being in, I believe it's Virgo. Yeah, that's the perfectionist in me that seeks validation, that seeks to self-doubt. But I'm learning through this process with Pluto and with Saturn is that there's a lot of death that is coming for me in terms of attachments and mindsets and belief systems that do not serve my path. The path that I'm asking for, the path that I'm being granted, there's work, or at least there's a realization that has to come from that. There's a understanding of you can't be who you are or who you think that you are at this moment. That person, that version of you that's been created due to stress, due to colonization, due to generational traumas and wounds, that cannot exist with what you're asking for. So change it. Let it die. Destroy it. Feel your rage, which then allows for you to break the wall and reconnect back to your intuition, reconnect back to your feelings, reconnect back to your emotions, and freely being able to express them. So that way you can be back in alignment with yourself, with what you want.
And we'll have a chance to do all of that in the next 18 months. To embody and awaken the parts of us, the full expression of our consciousness that will take us to the construction, the building, the experiencing of our dreams, of our desires, of our capacity to build a life that we are happy and in love with through storms and sunshines.